If you want to be successful, study success. What's going on, guys? It's Uzziah, your success consultant, and in today's video, I want you to study success. Everybody says that they want to be successful, but what does it take in order to accomplish it? What do you need to do to actually become a successful person? Do you just hope for it and then it's just going to pop up and happen? Do you just keep telling yourself over and over, I want to be successful, I want to be successful, I want to be successful, and then that's how it's going to happen? It's not going to happen like that. If you want to be successful, you got to be able to study success. So in today's video, I'm going to give you the top 3 game-changing principles that you got to be able to install in your life starting today to help you be able to accomplish your successful life. So number 1, if you want to be able to study success effectively, you need to start reading the autobiographies of successful people that you want to model yourself around. I'm going to say that again. If you want to be successful, guys, study success. You can't study success through watching a person's TV show. You can't be successful through reading about a person in a magazine. You can't, just look at some little highlight clip of a person and know all of the things that went into what made that person accomplish a certain level of greatness. If you want to be successful, you got to be able to read their autobiographies. Because the autobiographies that they have, the stories of their lives, what they did from one year to the next, when the world wasn't watching, when the camera wasn't on, those are the variables that you need to understand to be able to make you a successful person. Here's the way that the media works. The media, they make every success look like it happened overnight. They don't show you the journey. They don't show you the climb. They don't show you the blood, the sweat, and the tears that went into a successful person becoming a successful person. So all you see is what happens on the back end when they're already winning a championship, when they've already made a lot of money, when they've already accomplished great results. You see a person in the climax of their career and you assume that that's how it's always been. You not seeing the timeline of how many years it took for them to work in silence and just chip away at their craft day by day with no results. You don't actually see the process of what went into making a successful person a successful person. So what happens? You don't really know what goes into it. You don't know how to implement it. You don't know what it takes to actually get on their level. And as a result, you just sit back and watch them at the peak, never knowing how to get there. If you want to be successful, you got to be able to pull yourself away from what the media tells you about a successful person, because the media is only going to highlight a very tiny moment, a very tiny part of their life. They're only going to take the highlights. They're only going to take the top 10, the top 3 moments. Step away from the media. Don't rely on them as a source of wisdom and a source of knowledge for you to be able to get yourself ahead, but instead start reading autobiographies. Start reading the detailed accounts of people to understand what they were doing, what was going on in their life, who were their mentors. What did their mentors teach them? There's so many things that you have to learn about a successful person that the media is never going to show you, but you need to be able to gather that up and soak all of that in order for you to be able to take things to the next level. Second thing, in order for you to really study success, you got to be able to focus on a successful person's habits rather than their results. You want to focus on their habits, because everybody wants the end result, right? If you look at a successful person and you spend so much time just looking at their house, looking at their car, looking at their material possessions, does that actually teach you how they got to a level where they were able to accomplish so much that they could be able to have these different rewards? No. That is going to put you, in a position of very superficial glitz and glamour. People that are successful, they don't really even focus on the end results of, the fame and fortune and all those things. A lot of successful people, they didn't go into the area that they aspire to be great at for the applause or for the fame or for the fortune. That just happened to be an outcome of them being as good at something as they were. They were really seeking out something different. So if you want to be able to study successful people, I want you to focus on understanding their habits. What makes them different than the average person? What mindset do they carry that separates them from the mindset of the average person? Because here's the thing, and this is just basic common sense. Average people are going to do average things that's going to yield average results. Extraordinary people are going to do extraordinary things that is going to yield extraordinary results. So you got to be able to find out what is extraordinary, because all of us have grown up always thinking along the lines of average. What is normal to us? Whatever was going on in our community at the time. Whatever our teachers taught us at the time. Whatever our friends and our family members were saying at the time. But what you're going to find when you examine any world-class successful person is that the things that you in your mind perceive to be normal and regular, a lot of times they'll probably do things in the opposite way. There's something about their process that's going to be different, because the only way that they could be successful is by having habits that's different from that of the average person. So if you want to be successful, stop spending so much time focusing on the superficial material things of life. Even if you want a nice house, even if you want to take a nice vacation, block that out as you're focused on the work. When you're focused on the work, think about the habits of what got them to that point, okay? And that's going to make all of the difference. Third, and finally, I want you to find a few successful people to pattern your life after. And when you do, I want you to be able to block out the thoughts, the behaviors, the mentality, the negativity, the behaviors and the just habits of everybody else. That's what I want you to be able to do. If you're going to study success in order to achieve success, I want you to be able to study a few successful people so well that you're patterning your life in some ways, at least after their life, and you're blocking out the masses of everybody else. You're blocking out all of these other people. Now you might be saying, Uzziah, why am I going to do that? Does it really make sense for me to only pattern myself under a few select people and not even give credence to anyone else? Doesn't that seem a little elitist, Uzziah? Doesn't that seem like I'm not respecting everybody else, Uzziah? No. Blocking out everyone else is not the acknowledgement that you view them as any lesser of a person. You love them all the same. This could be your family members, your friends, the people you go to church with, the people that you hang out with. They're all good people. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to you being able to achieve a certain goal, or you want your life to look a certain type of a way, you're only going to be able to do that if you have a model to base your success after. You begin to pattern yourselves after someone else's success principles. And in order for you to be able to walk that journey correctly, you're blocking out everyone else who doesn't have a lifestyle and doesn't have a value system that corresponds with the success that you want. Here's the problem. When you listen to everybody, you're listening to nobody. If you try to take a little bit from here and a little bit from there and take everybody's opinion and you view it as gospel and you view it as gold, you're never going to get anywhere extraordinary in life. I'm going to give you a prime example of a time years ago when I first started working with some clients as I was helping them get out of student loan debt. So you already know the story. I paid off $95,000 of student loans 2 years after graduating from Baylor University, graduated back in 2010. And as soon as I let the world know that I had paid off my student loan debt, everybody was wondering, how did you do it? And so I would start to work with clients professionally, showing them step by step. And some people would follow the steps that I told them to do. Some people would have resistance and say, well, my friend was saying I should do this when it comes to my credit card. My friend was saying I should do that when it comes to me having this amount of money in my bank account. And without fail, without question, it was always the friends that was strapped in student loan debt themselves that was giving their other friends advice on how to get out of student loan debt. How can you get advice on getting out of student loans from somebody that's still stuck with student loans, right? It's something that would seem so common sense, but not common practice. And because of the fact that, oh, well, it's our friend. Oh, it's my mom that told me. It's my dad that told me. We feel as though we must give everyone's opinion room in our decisions. And that stops us from being the greatest person that we can be. That stops us from being able to achieve our goal. That stops us from really being able to reach our full potential. If you look at somebody that's really successful, I'm going to guarantee you this. When you're looking at somebody that's truly successful, they're not listening to a million different people. They've identified who are some of the top few people, maybe it's 3 people or less, that they really, really view as a mentor. They've seen the track record in these people. They've seen the results. They know that it's not just talk. And they follow the instructions and the counsel of these people in a very immersed type of a way, not just superficially. They go after it in such a way where it's like they follow it step by step. You look at the success of like a Michael Jordan. Dean Smith will tell you he hadn't found another athlete that would follow the steps so precisely that the coach was giving as Michael Jordan did with his coaches, one of them being Dean Smith. You need to be able to find out who are the people that you're going to really pattern yourself after. And then after you make that decision, you need to start blocking people out. For every 100 people that you start to notice yourself being around, it really should only be but a couple people that you're actually listening to. Because if you have too many voices in your head, they're going to take you in all different types of directions. And none of those directions are going to lead to success because you keep following all these other different routes and it's always going to zigzag you out of the straight line. Okay? So what I want you to do is, I want you to first and foremost subscribe to this channel. If you haven't done so by now, you're really doing yourself a disservice because I'm putting out daily success principles that's really going to help change the game on how you view success. Maybe right now, you've always had this mentality that in order for you to be a good person, you got to be able to take everybody's word into account. But that's been holding back your success. My job as your success consultant is to show you the things that successful people do every single day, but you never know it because they don't talk about it on television. You don't hear them say it on the interviews, but they actually do it. I've actually spent time around these people. I've seen what successful people do behind the scenes, and these are many of the things that's allowed me to be able to start my own business, pay off my student loans, get my own real estate, become a best-selling author. I'm sharing with you these top principles all for free. So subscribe to this channel, share it with a friend, leave a comment if you want to let me know about who you're going to pattern yourself after, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.